Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. We're going to continue working with algebraic expressions and combining like terms. Today, specifically, we are simplifying algebraic expressions, or another way to say it is to generate an equivalent expression. So our first example is on the screen, 4 times the quantity of x plus 6. Grab a sheet of paper, copy it down, work through the problem with me so you get some experience. Let's talk about this. Normally, we would use the order of operations to simplify this expression. And the order of operations would tell us to do grouping symbols first. And inside of those grouping symbols, we have x plus 6. Well, if you remember from our previous lesson, x and 6 cannot be combined together because they are not like terms. So our only option in this expression is to use the distributive property. And if you remember the distributive property from before, we are going to take this coefficient outside of the parentheses and distribute it to any or all terms inside of the parentheses using multiplication. So we're going to get 4 times x. I'm going to drop my plus sign, and then I distribute the 4 to the 6 to get 4 times 6. Now I'm going to simplify this multiplication. 4 times x is 4x. I drop my plus sign. 4 times 6 is 24. So we use the distributive property to eliminate the parentheses or grouping symbols. I have my expression simplified down to 4x plus 24. And because 4x and 24 are not like terms, that is our final answer. That is as far as we can simplify this expression. So 4x plus 24 is equivalent to 4 times the quantity x plus 6. All right, our next example, we have 5 times the quantity of 2y plus 9, close the quantity, minus 3y. Go ahead and copy that problem down. Let's work through it together. Well, the very first thing I need to do here is to get rid of these parentheses. And the only way to work with these parentheses is to use the distributive property. I'm distributing this 5 to all of the terms inside of the parentheses. So I'm going to start with 5 times 2y. 5 times 2 is 10, so 5 times 2y would be 10y. I'm going to drop down my plus sign. This 9 is also inside of the parentheses, so make sure you distribute that coefficient to it as well. 5 times 9 is 45. Now, outside of those parentheses is a minus 3y. Because that term is not part of the parentheses, the 5 does not get distributed to it. We're just going to bring down the minus 3y. Now that I've used distributive property, my expression is 10y plus 45 minus 3y. Our next step, we can actually combine like terms. 10y and 3y are like terms because they both share the variable y being raised to a power of 1. Don't forget to grab this minus sign in front of your 3y. That's going to tell you how to combine them. 10y minus 3y. 10 minus 3 is 7, so 10y minus 3y is 7y. Plus 45 is a constant. We're just going to bring it down. And because 7y and 45 are not like terms, they cannot be combined, our final answer is 7y plus 45. Okay, I have 2 more expressions on the screen. Copy them down on a sheet of paper, pause the video, work them out on your own, and then come back to check your work to see how you did. Okay, welcome back. I hope you gave yourself enough time to complete both of these expressions. Let's go over them and see how you did. Starting with the distributive property, 3 times m is 3m. I'm going to drop the plus sign, and then inside of my quantity is a 4. 3 times 4 is 12, and then I'm bringing down all the terms outside of the parentheses, minus m plus 2. Now it's time to combine like terms. I can combine m and minus m. 3m minus 1m is 2m. And then combining my constant terms, a positive 12 plus 2 gives me a positive 14, or plus 14. Final answer, 2m plus 14. All right, our second expression. We got a 5 times the quantity of 2k plus 4p minus k plus p, close the quantity. Distributive property is our first step. 5 times 2k is 10k. Drop my plus sign. 5 times 4p is 20p. Drop my minus sign. 5 times k is 5k. Drop my plus sign. And 5 times p is 5p. Now we use our like terms to combine our like terms. 10k minus 5k is 5k. 20p plus 5p is a positive 25p. So our final answer, 5k plus 25p. All right, one last thing I want to talk about today is factoring an algebraic expression. So on our screen, we have 15m plus 40, and I want to factor this expression. I want to find the largest value that I could evenly divide out of both these terms. So in the term 15m, 15 is my coefficient. I'm going to start by factoring 15. Factors of 15 are 1 and 15, 3, and 5. That is it. I'm going to factor the other term in my expression, 40. We can have 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 4 and 10, 5 and 8. So the greatest common factor, the largest value that I could evenly divide out of both these terms, is 5. I'm going to take that greatest common factor and I'm going to make it a coefficient outside of a quantity, a number outside of parentheses. So we're doing the opposite of distributive property. Instead of multiplying a number into the parentheses, we are dividing a value out. In this case, we're dividing a 5 out. 15m divided by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, so 15m divided by 5 is 3m. I'm going to drop a plus sign. Same thing with this 40. I am factoring a 5 out of it. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So the factored expression of 15m plus 40 would be 5 times the quantity of 3m plus 8. All right, guys, on the screen, I have 3 expressions I want you to try on your own. Find the greatest common factor and rewrite that expression using that greatest common factor. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, I hope you gave yourself enough time to factor all of these expressions. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how you did. So our first expression, 48y plus 64. I'm looking for the greatest common factor of 48 and 64. The greatest common factor of 48 and 64 is 16. That will become my coefficient. If I divide both these by 16, 48y divided by 16 is 3y. I'm going to bring over my plus sign. 64 divided by 16 is 4. So your factored expression is 16 times the quantity of 3y plus 4. Next, 12m minus 84. Greatest common factor of 12 and 84 is 12. So when I factor a 12 out, 12m divided by 12 is 1m. We don't need the 1 though because 1 times m is just m. Bringing over my minus sign, 84 divided by 12 leaves me with 7. 12 times the quantity of m minus 7. Last expression, we have 3 terms. The greatest common factor of 6, 22, and 14 is 2. 2 will become my coefficient. If I factor a 2 out, 6k to the second power divided by 2 is 3k to the second power. I drop my plus sign. 22w divided by 2 is 11w. Drop my minus sign, and 14 divided by 2 is 7. Final answer, 2 times the quantity of 3k to the second power plus 11w minus 7. Please complete your independent practice assignment on equivalent expressions. Take a picture of your work and upload that file for submission. Take care, guys.